Consider the bicycle. It can get a child to school or a parent to work. A bicycle can get a healthcare worker to a patient 5 times faster, or help a farmer carry 5 times more produce to the market. Can a bicycle change the world? We think it just might. If anyone knows how a bike can change your life, it is this man. And Africa is just one of many places where he has given bikes away, knowing that they will change the lives of others.
I traveled all over the world on my biking adventures, and I've seen how the bike can make a difference. You know, for me it was always a sports object, but if you see how these bikes can really change lives and these people need them in everyday life, I wanted to give something back, you know, and that's what got really Wheels4Life started.
And so, moving forward to the present day, Hands Raised charity Wheels4Life is growing ever bigger and more effective in bringing the bicycle to those parts of the world where it's most needed. We recently joined Hans and his wife and Wheels4Life director Carmen on a trip to Africa to witness the end result of their efforts and to meet the people who make it possible on the ground.
Well, we just arrived here in Kenya. You know, most of these Wheels4Life projects, we have people who handle them for us on site, local charities or the local bishop, for example, like here. Every so often, Carmen and I come and visit these projects and make sure they run as we expect them to run and run smoothly and look after things and actually meet the people in person, not only the ones who help us facilitate these projects, but also the people who received bikes in the past and the people who receive them.
Well, today we have 40 bikes to distribute, and those who are recipients, potential recipients, are already here. They've been waiting anxiously and eagerly, waiting to have their lives also transformed, like the lives of the other 80 who have received the 80 bicycles.
They had already assembled all the bikes, had all the people ready there, they had them registered, had their IDs taken down. We had an exact list, and it was a very formal kind of festive occasion, and it was a big thing. You know, everybody puts on their nicest clothes. You can tell after coming here how important bicycles are in this part of the world. I mean, especially in the rural areas, the people who get them, they cherish them.
The people value these bikes like a baby. They treasure them, they maintain them. They tend them like one would tend a precious item. Here they value sheep and goats and babies, so they treasure the bikes like sheep, goats and babies. They love them.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It is his first bicycle ever in life to own.
Nice. Right on, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jobs in this part of the world are very rare, really, and they're not always permanent. You know, you might have work for one day on a construction site and then you don't have work. But if you have a bike, you can get there, you know. And we met a few very great examples of people, like one guy who received a bike from us a few years ago. You could tell he had a really hard time walking, and the bike was a huge help for him, especially, I think he told us he had to cover 20 kilometers a day. He had a family at home with like 2 children, and him getting to the construction sites, not only can he do it a lot more sufficient, but it just enables him to get work and support his family.
It takes $100 to buy a bike, and most of the average family here is about 10 people in the family with a salary of $150 a month to save enough to educate the children, and then buy a bicycle would not actually be feasible.
I was really moved there when we met a young boy called Sammy. He was only 9 years old when his father died, and he has a mother. He's now 13. He was given a bicycle. He has to look after his mother, who's disabled and widowed, and apparently both his sisters, he has 2 sisters, apparently they have learning disabilities, and his life is definitely challenging. But one thing's for sure, that bicycle's going to really help him.
We talk to the villagers themselves, and it is them who recommends who will be given a bicycle. And we feel very good because we are able to follow up the people, and there is accountability between us here in Kenya and the US, the donors, and also the people. We follow them up. Every month we meet with the people to see how they are doing and how their lives are being changed by the bicycles.
When we left the first project, we given bikes away. We were already quite a bit away, like 5 Ks or so, and all of a sudden I spotted this brand new bike on the side, and we were like, wait a minute, that's one of the bikes we just given away. So we stopped and talked to the guy, and he said, oh yeah, I live right around the corner. So we followed him to his house, and we got to see where he lives and his family, and how excited everybody and happy he was to have this bike, and what a great asset it was. When we first saw him, he was just showing it off at the local little shop there, you know, and everybody was like checking it out. So it's a big deal to get a bike here. That's very nice. Yeah, we usually buy the bikes always locally for our projects. It helps the local economy. We don't have all the shipping costs or the hassles that can happen with customs and all that. So these are really nice bikes that people will find spare parts for them locally. They come equipped with a lock, with a bell, with fenders so they don't get their uniforms dirty, with pumps and a little toolkit. And these people know how to help themselves. You know, these bikes today, they even have a really nice rack where people can transport their goods or other people. Nice bikes.
Very nice.
One of the boys we saw, he gotten the bike from us already a few years ago, and his bike was well worn already, but it was still running, but the tire was bare at one spot. Some of the spokes had broken, and he tied them together, like twisted them together to make it work, and he did a lot of home improvements on his bike, but it still worked, and he was out there on a Sunday, you know, bringing wood to the market.
Ultimately, our experience with Kenya, I think it's been good. It's very good, and to see people so happy, it's just it's an indescribable feeling. Let's change lives with bikes. From Kenya, we travelled across the border into Uganda. It's a country that I was always very interested in visiting, and it's a country that Wheels4Life works with a lot. It's absolutely stunning. It really is the Garden of Eden. Wherever you look around, it's lush, the beauty is breathtaking. But unfortunately, Uganda has been in conflict for decades, and the people here they're carrying the cost, they're bearing the price.
Well, in Uganda, Wheels4Life have partnered with a non-profit NGO called Action for Rural Women's Empowerment, ARUWI for short. They, in turn, support a network of health workers who make up VHTs, Village Health Teams, essentially local people with basic training in healthcare. Hans and Carmen were on their way to see how Wheels4Life funding had been helping out the isolated community on Buzzy Island on the northern shores of Lake Victoria.
So right now we are in Buzzy Islands with the VHTs, the ones who receive bicycles. VHT means Village Health Team. It's a structure that government set up in rural areas to help people access health services. They train women in antenatal care, family planning, postnatal. Not only do they do that, but they make referrals. They tell them, go to the hospital, you need this and this kind of medicine. Then they also treat children from 5 and below years. So they have to follow them up, you know, house to house. And even though you are Superman, I mean, you can't keep walking all those journeys. So they need the transportation. So here we came to Wheels4Life, and then boom, the bicycles came. This place has over 80 VHTs. But then when the government came in, they gave them 5 bicycles.
And how many did Wheels4Life give them?
Wheels4Life gave us 61 bicycles, which was quite amazing. So big ups to Wheels4Life.
Wait. We're here today in Kenkwanti, and the locals actually have organized a little race. So they want to race me on their bikes. The brand new bikes are not quite dialed in, but the bikes we given out the last time, some of those guys are ready to go. So let's see what they got. All right. Ready? Where are we going?
He's leading us.
With only a couple of days left in Uganda, one more experience remained for Hans and Carmen. Running a charity from a home office in Southern California is one thing, but actually driving through remote countryside and handing bikes directly to those people whose lives will be improved by them really is what job satisfaction is all about.
It is wonderful.
I know if our donators could be here and see the bicycles themselves being used, I know they would be really, really happy that they chose to support Wheels for Life. We're small, but we are absolutely pure. We make sure the bikes get to the right people, and that is also thanks to our project leaders, those people in the field that I can trust that volunteer to help us. So when people donate, they know they're buying bikes and nothing else. And they really are making a difference. You know, we're going to come away from this trip having learnt a lot and knowing that we've changed lives through bicycles.